Okay, let's go. Go.
And today I'm joined by Jack Sitsinski, young up-and-coming 70.3 Ironman athlete reigning from the Gold Coast. Jack has recently clipped his tickets to Kona. He is responsible for the SOS Performance training group, also on the Gold Coast. We're going to be chatting all things the business side of his sport. He's going to also give us a couple of predictions on Kona, both male and female. Really looking forward to chatting with Jack. Okay, we have SOS, Jack Sitsinski.
Captain, how's it going?
Mate, I'm going well. As you know, I'm a little bit beaten up and bruised, but we soldier on. And mate, I've just done your wonderful introduction, but I thought I'd also just touch base on how we came to find you and why you're in our company now. And mate, that comes back, I reckon it's probably a couple of years ago now. And one of your old sponsors, Noel Fenn from Carbon Mafia, mentioned you to me about an athlete that we should continue to keep an eye on. And at that stage, we had just started to look at new athletes, and we just brought on Nick Thompson, who's obviously doing some wonderful things, and we brought on Jared Osborne, and there was a couple more I was looking at, and then it just happened to be that you and I were both racing. I had a few of our age group guys racing down at the Tweed Enduro.
Yes, yeah.
And you smashed that out of the park. And that was enough to sort of say, hey, listen, I need to have a chat with this guy.
Yeah.
Which we did. I lent out to you. You were kind enough to respond to me. You made it bloody. You were a hard get. You made it hard for me to get you on board.
Indecisive.
You had to get all this advice from all your mates. But anyway, here you are now, mate. We're very pleased to have you. So welcome, mate.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for the well, I trust you that it was a good intro. But
it was a great intro.
No, that's good. It was good that we met at the Tweed Enduro, wasn't it? Well, we actually didn't meet. It was after the race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It
was. Hang on, mate. I've got to move something around. I don't want to have all here. That's better.
There we go.
That's better. Sorry, here we go. There we go. So yeah, go on. Sorry, it was what?
Tweed Enduro, yeah. Was it well, they've got it again this year, actually. They had to cancel it earlier this year because of the floods or the cyclone or something, but it's going to be actually the week after Kona this year, so we can't go back out there, unfortunately. But
no, it's against Port Macquarie, and it's such a great event.
It's a great event, yeah.
Great local event.
I had to get up at about 3 a.m. to do that race because it was daylight savings time.
All right. Now, it would be remiss of me not to say that I've actually won that 3 times. I've done a 3 repeat at that one, Jack.
Really?
I have. Very true.
Hot as well.
Yeah. Say always hot. Is that what you said?
Always hot. Yeah. No, I think you get your course record.
No, mate. Don't think so. Anyway, that's enough about me. We're talking about you. So, so you've come on board, and mate, as I said, we absolutely love dealing with you. But I thought I'd also just ask a couple of things, and I guess this is pretty important. When we look at pros, we often sort of say, well, how are they going to make their money? We've got someone here that's an emerging athlete that really isn't on the radar yet. He doesn't have any sponsorship family. Pretty well nothing there in relation to generating income. And plus, because you are new, that first year of not being able to potentially get into those prize money, the decent type of prize money. So effectively, you're funding yourself, aren't you, for the first 12 months, and sometimes forever. That can be the case. There's been pros that have spent their entire career funding themselves. So when you sort of made up your mind about turning pro, what was the primary motivator for you?
I guess turning pro for me was back in 2018 was when I moved out of the juniors. Like I was doing short course back then, so you raced as like an under 19. So that I ended that in 2018 was my last year in that age group. Um, so 2019 was my first year out like in the elite category. So my first probably official pro race, other than some continental cups and stuff like that, was probably the Noosa Triathlon in 2019. So from memory, I think Jake Birtwistle won that, but there was Henry Schumann, Ryan Fisher, um, Ryan Bailey was there. There was a stacked field, so it was a great race to do my first one in. But I think from that first year, like I didn't get any great results or standout performances or anything, but I just really liked competing against the best in the world and wanted to sort of see how close I could get to them. So I think from then I just decided I wanted to keep doing it, and I guess I didn't really make a conscious effort of like thinking of how I would actually generate income from doing that, or try not to lose more income than what I was actually receiving. So I just wanted to race the best and try to get as fast and compete at as high a level as I could in the sport. So I just wanted to keep going, and I guess it was probably not until probably you reached out to me that I actually really needed to consider, if I want to keep doing this, how am I going to actually be able to generate some revenue from it.
Yeah, okay. And talk us through that process of consideration. So you've had a manager reach out to you and say, "Hey, listen, this is what I want to do. This is where I think you can go," and that's fine. But that's just words. It's really your self belief. What was the process of then sort of deciding? Because you would have had to think about, well, this is getting a bit serious now. So what was that? What was that thinking?
Yeah, I think that yeah, as I said, I hadn't even thought really anything about that sort of thing. I think that growing up as a big fan of the sport, you're always following, like, first it was the magazines and then it was the athletes on Instagram and their YouTube and stuff like that, where you saw that the best in the world had all these great sponsors, and I was sort of just under the impression that the better results you get and the more that you race and the more you do well, the more the sponsors are going to approach you, which is probably true to a certain extent. I think that if you were to go and win some big races, you'd probably have some emails and some phone calls and stuff with some really good people. But I was probably not in that position. So that's where, when you reached out to me, I sort of it opened my eyes to another way that you can be positioned to brands, in a way that, like what you've done really well, is positioning me and telling the brands and the companies and the brand and the people that I'm currently working with what value you believe I could add to them, and then in return as well, like what value, what their support would do for me, which is, yeah, definitely a way that I hadn't really considered looking at it, but it's worked really well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Did you, and has it changed your mindset in relation to some people move into, once they get management and they get partners, there's a sense of commitment that goes with that. It's almost like an all in then, rather than I'll stick my toe in the water to see how I'm going to go with this. But once you start taking on contracts that are 1 year, 2 year, there's a bit more of a commitment, and there's a weight that sits with that. Did you feel that? Was that something that felt, and if so, is that the reason why you perhaps took a week to think about whether this is something that you really wanted to do?
Yeah, I think that probably the reason why I waited so long to commit to the was M5 management, before it was sort of under the whole M5 Performance banner. Um, but I think that at that point I probably didn't see myself as being someone that could provide value to the brands that I would like to work with. So I think that firstly I wanted to be really authentic with what brands I would partner myself with, because if I wasn't fully, uh, I guess, supportive of the brand, and if it wasn't something that I would choose to use if I, had the funds and whatever to buy their product, then I couldn't be a good ambassador for it. And then I think I also thought that I'm not at the level to provide value to those big brands. But that was where, the discussions we had before I signed with you was that, race results are definitely one thing, but it's also what you can do off the race course, which is really important as well. So that was probably where I took a little bit more of a holistic view around, like, what can I do in the lead up to races, and also within my local community here on the Gold Coast. So that was probably where I started to try to build my own brand, the SOS Performance training group, a little bit more, as well as reach out to a few people to try to get a little bit more exposure of myself on social media in the form of Instagram and YouTube and Strava and stuff like that. And of course, training hard to try to achieve better race results. But yeah, I think that until I really spoke to you, I was unaware of what value I could provide other than race results.
Yeah, and we talk about that all the time, don't we? We talk about the role of the influencer,
Yes.
and the role they play, and that has nothing, and often has nothing to do with results. It simply has everything to do with content. But if you can do both, and I think all of our athletes do that, and I think you do it exceptionally well, where you're creating. You've got this sweep of different opportunities for a brand to get involved in. You've got you as the pro triathlete, which has its own value. You've got you and your involvement within the community, which has its own value, and then you've got your involvement as a coach within that, which has its own value, and all those things add up really well. And for any brand that sees that, they're excited about that, and then you're delivering across all those things, and I guess that's one of the reasons why you've got, or you're getting, a full suite of partners. And that's my next question. And I can see you've got a couple there. We've got Factor, we've got Aid Station. Oh, there they are. They've got SOS, two times you. Yeah. Speedo. There's one down the bottom there, mate. Let's not leave that one out. That's Coastal.
Yeah, coastal real estate. So,
right. Okay. Well, they're important because they're your philanthropic, aren't they?
They're. Well, that's sort of a mix between coaching and also sponsorship as well. That there's a few members of the Coastal team that are part of the SOS Performance sort of group, and then they also support me on the top of that, which is super generous of them. So
okay, and here's how it works. And for those that are listening, so we get this, we have this new athlete, and we believe that there's value that we can deliver to a brand, and we know that about Jack, and that's really then us just going out to the marketplace and positioning Jack in the most favourable manner. And we don't over position him, but we also don't go to brands and as Jack's alluded to, is that we only go and work with people that he feels really comfortable with, because that's something, we hear this word authenticity all the time, but it has to be, otherwise there's no passion in it. So we toddled out to marketplace, and obviously we have the benefit of knowing these brands, so the doors to a certain extent are already open, and then we get the opportunity to pitch. And in Jack's case, it was a very easy pitch, and we've managed to find some pretty cool partners for him, which I think the other thing too is they've identified early and they're prepared to go long with Jack, and I think that's also a very exciting opportunity for him as he progresses through the sport. But hey, so Jack, give us do you want to rattle a few of them off and talk about them? Is there any particular areas of innovation or things like that you wanted to chat about? Because I guess this is all about, I guess, positioning your brands, and if they're often coming onto our channel talking about what they're doing, but it's great to have an athlete also doing the same on their behalf.
Yeah, absolutely. As you touched on, they're all brands that I would choose to work with anyway, and that I have been using their stuff for a long time. So for example, Two Times You, I've always swam in their wetsuits and used their tri-suits a lot of the time as well. I think that was probably from the influence of some of their previous athletes that have been part of their team. So Growing up, I saw like Josh Amberger and Tim Van Berkel, Matt Hauser all wearing the 2 times U gear. That sort of me as a consumer back then. That was sort of the stuff that I wanted to use and to buy. So that's probably almost like a full circle moment now being part of the 2 times U team. Being able to just wear all their gear and try out so many new products and all that is amazing. But they're really taking another step back into the triathlon space. They sort of went out of it for a little bit, dipped their toes back in, went out, and then probably in the last 12 to 18 months have made some big steps back into it. So I've been fortunate enough with them to be able to go to the SASI, the South Australian Sport Institute, and test a whole range of different materials and suits, prototypes that they've been making. So there's some really exciting news on the way in the next couple of months in the lead up to Kona with some of their technology that they've developed in both their wetsuits and tri-suits and swim skins. So got the last little bit of testing this week on Friday with some wetsuit and swimwear testing. But even that, like just as a triathlon nuffy I am, just to be able to go, to SASI or in the pool and just chat to their engineers and their design team and it's really quite surreal sometimes to be in that position where I get to test the stuff that I'm wearing.
Well, this is exactly this part about being an ambassador, isn't it? So when we talk to these brands, we talk about the fact that you've got a high performance athlete that's able to test your products and in a way that has real credibility attached to it. And you're absolutely right about 2 times U. I mean, I guess they were lost to triathlon for probably 4 or 5 years. So they sort of went into other areas of multi-sport and health and fitness, but they have come back in a big way, and which is great for them to make that investment in you is terrific.
Yeah.
Did you have a chance to get the slick into the wind tunnel as well, mate, or was that
No,
you only had a? Oh, you did.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was myself and Chloe, one of the other 2 times U athletes. We had about half a day each, so it was probably about 5 or 6 hours each in there testing all the suits. I was probably annoying them with all the questions that I was asking, but we had about a spare 15, 20 minutes at the end where he got me in the tunnel in the suit that I'll be wearing at Kona, and sort of gave me some, told me we didn't change anything on the bike, but he sort of told me to put my arms in a certain position.
Wow. Okay.
Made a few changes to the head position, which he thought was going to result in some quite significant changes. So that's they've all been things that I've been updating to the slick at the moment. So
New watts, mate.
Yeah,
new watts saved.
Yeah, some big watts saved, and I've got to find a few more watts in training as well. So the two, hopefully,
both ways. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And mate, Aid Station, good to be back with them.
Yeah, Aid Station. Yeah, so Tara, my sister, I also coach her as well. Has been part of the Aid Station team for a couple of years now. So I've joined her on Aid Station, which is awesome. And Mike's Bikes, they're actually a workplace, but they've sort of been a great support to me in both flexible working hours as well as all of the bike questions and servicing and access to a lot of equipment there. So
because we shouldn't forget the fact that you've been there for 11 years, and you're on long service.
Yeah, that's why I'm able to record the podcast at on a Wednesday. I'm on pro hours now.
You are, and you do a lot of your bike fitting from. I mean, this is another string to your bow, mate. You're a fantastic bike fitter, so. Our athletes have been going to you as well. So you do a bit of bike fitting at my bike. So they've been a staple for you, haven't they?
They have, yeah. So they're staple in the Gold Coast cycling and triathlon community. So that's sort of everything sort of integrates really well with each other. I'm able to network really well through the bike shop to build up my coaching community, and then which then helps me be able to be presented to brands a little bit better as well. So They all
And
sort
I
of
know, I know you have no control over this, mate. So you don't even have to answer. But we have to work on facts to make sure they can see if they can get themselves involved in Mike's bikes. But that's for another conversation.
another conversation. Yeah,
Yeah, and Speedo.
Speedo. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely need all the help I can get in the pool sometimes. So yeah, Speedo, Suki at Speedo's been supporter since I started with you at the start of last year. So yeah, use all the Speedo range, the goggles, swimmers, and all the pool accessories. So
They've got some innovation coming up there. I can't talk too much about it at the moment, but
yeah,
there's some serious stuff that's coming out of Speedo in the next 2 weeks.
yeah, that'll be unreal.
Yes, no, it's next level.
Another
So
main partnership that we've established this year at the start of this year was Factor. So Factor Bikes, both Australia and also more recently with like the global branch of Factor as well. So that was established. Obviously, Phil had the door open there with Hank Vogels, ex Tour de France rider and legend of Australian cycling.
he'd love to hear that, mate.
Yeah, yeah. Give him a plug. Hanky deserves it.
He does.
Hassling him a lot via email last year. Once I heard that the door was maybe a little bit open, I tried to sneak my way in there. But no, he's a great man, Hank, and went on the ride with him for the when Factor came and did their Gold Coast ride. So that was really cool to ride with him and the other Factor guys, and also been able to talk to Dave Miller and Rob and all the team overseas. It's as I touched on before, like partnering with brands that I would want to use their gear anyway. And Factor have been doing some amazing things in the track cycling and also obviously with our record and the track cycling team. A lot of the Australian cycling team are using their bikes, so the R&D is already done there with the track cycling, and then for it to be moving into triathlon is awesome. So really privileged to be able to be riding the Factor Slick and the Black Ink components for the first half of this year, and yeah, it's definitely a partnership I look to keep continuing into the future.
Yeah, and Jack, I should say, Factor are very cynical, had been previously cynical around in that triathlon space in relation to whether they were getting value. I think last year they may have had one athlete, but I mean, obviously, we've got Nick on Factor now, we've got Jared and yourself, and I just know that just between the three of you, you've made an absolute significant difference in regards to how they view triathlon, and you guys need to be applauded in relation to that. I mean, that is how ambassadors work, mate. That's the great example of an ambassador building brands, and we know how credible a Factor product is. And they've been just delighted with what you guys have been doing. Hey, mate, tell us a bit about SOS, because one of the things also that you've got this wonderful training group which you've created, but you've got some seriously good athletes in there as well, including your sister, of which you're the coach. So just give us a quick snapshot on that one, mate.
Yeah, so that's the logo there. SOS Performance is sort of SOS is the first three initials of my surname, so that's where the name arose from. But I've always been interested in coaching at various different levels, but it was probably at the beginning of last year when I established the relationship with you, and I was sort of exploring ways that I could extend my reach into the broader community within triathlon and endurance sport. That I saw the opportunity to grow the coaching business a little bit. So I was able to expand and get a few more athletes. Tara, my sister, is one of them, along with some really good age group athletes as well, and some young developing pro athletes in the short distance, the draft legal space. So yeah, what I really like about the SOS Performance group is that they're a lot of them are really new, so it's a chance for me to actually try to educate them on why I use certain products, and try to encourage them to try a whole array of products on offer. But it's sort of a way that I can have a direct impact on the brands I represent and try to get them within my community and then hopefully in the broader triathlon community as well.
Yeah, and you can see it. You just see the activity going through all the social media around stuff that you're doing, and you've got a great content builder too, mate, haven't you? You've got a right hand man that's really good at this stuff. Do you want to give him a bit of a plug?
Yeah, definitely, he deserves a plug. Gmedia, James Blackman, is his actual name, but Gmedia, he's really making a great name for himself in
He
the
is.
content space.
Yeah.
In triathlon and endurance sport especially. So we sort of both started at the same time, and I feel as if we've been good at building each other up.
Have been.
And
Yeah.
it's great to see him working with some of the brands that I'm partnered with. It's been great that he's been able to grow into the sport with me as well. So we've started YouTube. We've done a few YouTubes on his channel, and then he's convinced me to start my channel now. So we've got the first video out there.
I've seen it. It's
So,
brilliant.
yeah, so the long form media is something that I never really would have probably got into myself, but credit to Jimmy, he's got really awesome creativity skills, and we're still thinking of a good name. The Build to Kona is what the first one was called, because everyone does Road to Kona, so I don't want to
They
copy
do.
everyone.
What are we going to come up with, Jack? We need to come up with something, mate.
Anyone watching this in the comments, if they have a good idea, we can think of a new name. But no, he does a great job of it, and definitely a big reason why I've been able to expand my profile a little bit and work with some amazing partners.
Absolutely. Hey, mate, it would be remiss of us if we didn't touch on Kona. Shall we just have a bit? Can we get a bit of insight in relation to how that's looking? Because we're not far away, mate. What are we? 60 days.
Yeah, 60 days. Yeah, so not far at all. As you mentioned, I'm self-coached, but that's by choice. Like I definitely have lots of people that I lean on for knowledge and support, and just to bounce ideas off. So yourself being one of them has been a big impact on me, especially at the end of last year, encouraging me to really put my racing first, and being more organised and managing my own athletes and outside commitments a little bit more. So that was really good. And then, as I mentioned before, I coach Tara, who is part of the Oz Triathlon sort of developing under 23 team. So part of her support is having lots of really knowledgeable people around her. So two people in particular I speak to a lot in regards to her training would be Tim Rigby. He's actually competed at Kona before, 8:48 I believe was his time. So he's
That's quick.
really credible athlete himself, but especially in terms of running and that load management. He's a physio and S&C coach by trade, so he's been really good to bounce some ideas off, especially around my training load and running. And then another one as well is Jason Bartram. So he's coaching a couple of other professionals at Kona, and he's been really good with a lot of the physiology stuff, so around cycling and also heat training. So he's been really good too, plus some other athletes that have already competed there as well, like Tim Van Berkel is someone I've done a lot of training with, and he's been been able to ask him for some advice too. So it's coming around.
It's great that Tim has kept himself around the sport, isn't it? Like you can see
absolutely.
his influence still across so many different athletes, and it's a credit to him.
Yeah, he's a real stalwart of the sport, and it's great that he's open to helping me as well. So
very good. If you took yourself out of it, who's your top five? Who's your top five in male and female at Kona? If you're looking at the blokes, no, let's go with the ladies first. It's going to be an awesome race. Ladies first. What do you reckon?
I think that Taylor Nibb's going to win.
Right. Okay.
I've seen. She's been doing a little bit of short course, and I've seen. Her. She was actually raced Tara a couple of times. So I sort of have a bit of a insight of to how good she's swimming at the moment. So I'd be surprised if she's very far behind Lucy Charles out of the water.
Okay.
And I think that her bike's just going to be so strong as always, and she was only probably 10, 15 minutes away from winning it
was.
last year. So she's my number one. Then Lucy Charles second.
2, yep.
Solveig would be
Oof.
third. I think
Yep.
Kat Matthews in fourth.
Wow, how good's this? How good is the other girls? Mum,
Oh,
unbelievable. Yeah, and fifth?
And then fifth, I'm gonna have to say, I don't know. Sifford isn't racing, is she? Fifth,
No.
I'd probably have to go with Hannah Berry, I reckon. She's
Okay. Yeah.
Oceania
Nice.
athlete.
Yeah, of course.
Smokey would have to be someone I do a bit of training with, Regan Hollyoak. She can be.
Nice, mate. Yeah, cool.
So
Smoky.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in the ninth, I'll go 5-1. So
Okay.
I reckon in fifth.
You've thought about this, haven't you?
Yeah. I reckon Sam Laidlow in fifth. Blumenfeld in fourth. Then I'm going to go Van Riel in third, Casper second, and I think Gustav's going to win again.
Okay.
Men's.
Wow.
So that's my top four.
Wow. Okay. Did we have? Was that 3? Was that first, second, or third for the Norwegians?
First, second, fourth.
Fourth. Who was third? Real. Van Riel. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Give me a Smoky.
And my Smoky would have to be Nick Thompson. I
reckon. You're a good man.
And I don't know. I reckon that he's swimming quite well, and obviously his bike is so strong, and I think that the run will really suit him in the heat as well off a really hard bike. So
yeah,
I'd love for. I reckon he would be sixth, but potentially could even move his way up if some others are cooperating well with him on the bike as well.
Okay, so. And mate, and just how do you think? What's a good stretch goal for you, Jack? Given it's your first one, what would you? How do you see it playing out?
Like I would say that in Ironman, I tend to like the distance of the swim, and I can sort of put myself towards the front in most Ironmans that I've done. Obviously, apart from New Zealand, I haven't done any big international ones, but I think that if I can put myself in that Norwegian pack or like towards the front of that pack out of the water, that's sort of my goal there. Then historically, I've felt pretty good at the start of rides on Ironman. So it's just going to be about managing my position in the group, obviously staying out of the draft zone and staying out of trouble early on. And then, that the mid part of the bike is something I've always sort of struggled with. So obviously Harvey is sort of right at that turnaround point. So it's a big focus of my training at the moment is just trying to maintain that power throughout that middle third of the Ironman bike. I think just a mental thing as well, just fueling and cooling myself down, but also just staying in the moment and staying to my numbers.
Staying present, absolutely.
Staying present, yeah. I feel like the last 20k has been not too bad in some of my races, but it's just that middle sort of hour, I think, is where I really start to lose contact with the group that I'm in. So that's going to be a really important race, a part of the race. And then on the run, it's definitely going to be I feel like the run is going to obviously is a big factor for Kona, and historically being a slower run course, it'll suit more of the even paced people that can pace themselves well on the run. So on a great day, I would love to get top 25 or sneak into the top 20. And I'm not going to say I'll just be happy with my own even pace race, which I will be, but the fans will want a position answer, won't they? So a top 25 I'd be happy with, the top 20 I would be stoked with, and then the further into the top 20, if I was to get that, the more and more happy I'd be. So top 25 would be the goal. Well,
it's just a start for you, Jack, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
So it's, it's such you're on such an exciting journey, road to Kona, whatever it might be. You're on all of those, mate. And you're just it's for us, it's a pleasure to be able to work with you, and we're obviously going to be staying in touch leading into the big race. But mate, thanks so much for taking the time and chatting with us today, mate.
For all the M5s, it's a great team to be a part of.
Okay, guys are doing their session. Just an update for you on me, which is not great news. My injuries, unfortunately, are stopping me doing any type of training. I can't run. I certainly can't swim, and I can ride, but Ironman's not a bike race, it's a triathlon. So there's two disciplines that I simply can't do and won't be able to do for at least another 3 weeks, and that gives me, well and truly falls me short of being able to have any type of evidence at all that I can get a decent Ironman done, never alone a PB. So I'm withdrawing. I may end up doing the 70.3 there, but that's problematic as well. So my goal is now just to get really healthy, just do a total reset. 226 has been an absolute disaster, but I'm focusing positively on what 227 might look like, and that's coming around pretty quickly. So I'll be chasing an Ironman, a 20th Ironman in 227. It could be the back end of the year, it may be Busso. And yeah, everything's still chasing a PB for my final one, but very frustrating, but that's the reality of it. All right, we've got a bit of a race going on here. We've got Maddie and Levi first, then Beebs and Renee. Okay, on your marks, set, let's go. Oh, this is close. Come on, Matty. This is very good. Come on, girls. Look at this. Very good. Very good.
Did you beat him?
Look, to be honest with you, no, I think Levi had a touch. I think Levi had the touch, definitely. And I reckon, I don't know the other one. I'm not too sure. Who got the touch? It would have been close. Who do you think? Double dead heat? No, the first one was very close. A hand, that's all it was. Well done.
Double dead.
Hey, now here's something pretty cool from our friends at Training House Shop, and it's a gift for purchase. So for a limited time, you spend $100 and you will get a free of charge copy of my book, Choosing Bravery, to be delivered with your purchase. So there's a limited amount of books that are available, so be quick. You'll see, I'll create a link in our show notes that you'll see. Keep an eye on the socials, because Training House will also be putting something up about this. Okay, well, that's a wrap for episode 6, and thanks for joining us. Now, next week, episode 7 on M5 Performance Diaries, we've got a locked-in time with Noel Fend, the founder of Carbon Mafia, and he's got a whole lot of interesting stuff going on with his wheels at the moment, some innovation that he's going to be talking about. So we're pretty keen to chat to him about that. We're also going to try and nail down for a chat Nick Thompson. Now, Nick's just finished a training block with Sam Laidlow, and he's just starting a training block with Jamie Riddle. He's a busy fella, but he is keen to come and have a chat with us. So we're going to see if we're going to lock him in for 20 minutes next week. So stay tuned for that. So again, thanks for joining us. If you like what we're doing here, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next week for M5 Performance Diaries.